The scene shifts and we see Kuro in a tent made out of wood and grass. When Kuro came out of the tent, he saw Lehon sitting outside. Lehon, who was sharpening a stick, smiled at Kuro when he saw him. Kuro was extremely shocked to see Lehon. Lehon gave Kuro some biscuits and chocolate to eat. He told Kuro that he was not able to retrieve his backpack, so they have to manage his own food. Kuro did not feel comfortable with taking Lehon's food. He knew that Lehon barely had enough food to last him a week. He did not want to be a burden to Lehon. Unfortunately for him, he was very hungry. He began to devour the food with tears in his eyes. He believed that he was a pathetic bastard for eating someone else's food. He thanked Lehon each time he took a bite out of his food. Lehon did not understand why Kuro was behaving so weirdly. He told Kuro that they need to find some water after they finish eating. While Kuro and Lehon were eating in their tent, some drones were watching them from the sky. The drone watched the movement of the children on the island. The scene shifts and we see Sergeant Red smoking in a dark room while he was watching the students through the drones. Octo enters the room and tells Sergeant Red that he is not allowed to smoke in the room. Sergeant Red told him to mind his own business. Octo asked Sergeant Red if there is anyone interesting among the students. With a smile on his face, Sergeant Red showed Octo a student who he believes is crazy. This student who put a bowl in his head did not want to spend a week on a deserted island. He believed that any means of survival was allowed. Knut Myers, who is from Norway, made a raft and used it to return back to Ark. In the next scene, we see Lehon and Kuro by the seaside. Lehon used a bottle to take some water from the sea and drink it. After he swallowed the water, he told Kuro that the water is drinkable. He asked Kuro to drink enough water and take some for their camp. On their way back to their camp, they realized that the island is very hot and it will be hard for them to travel during the day. They wanted to immediately return to their tent. As the heat got more unbearable, Lehon realized that they have to get more food if they want to survive on the island for a week, but he did not see anything on the island which they could forage. He finally understood why some children were stealing from others. While he was thinking, Kuro's ability activated by itself and his eyes became blue. He immediately grabbed Lehon and asked him to stop moving. When he grabbed Lehon, Lehon had stepped on a twig. The twig opened up a trap which was hidden. Lehon was surprised to see the trap. He realized that the trap was set in order to hold someone down for a few days. He asked Kuro about how he knew about the trap. He immediately realized that Kuro saw the trap in a vision. Kuro confirmed Lehon's realization. He wanted to explain how he was able to use his ability, but he was also confused. He told Lehon that he felt something boiling, and then he had a vision. When Lehon heard what Kuro said, he realized that Kuro has activated his quirk. Thanks to Kuro's explanation, he realized that Kuro's ability is short-term foresight. He was surprised to see that Kuro had such a superior and rare quirk. On their way back to the camp, Lehon wondered if the extreme conditions of the deserted island acted as a stimulant for Kuro to activate his ability. He realized that the survival training could be an opportunity for Kuro to improve on his ability. The scene shifts and we see someone arrive at Lehon's tent. This person is Carl. When Carl opened the tent, he was surprised to see that there was no one in it. Thanks to the two plastics he saw on the ground, he realized that two people stay in the tent. He was surprised to see that the people in the tent took their backpacks. Because they were not able to find anything, one of the boys in his group asked him if they should destroy the tent. Carl told the boy that the people staying in the tent have not left. He told the boy that the students in tent probably went to get some water. He told the boy that they will come back later. With a smile on his face, he told the boy that they will ambush the students while they're resting. After walking for a while, Kuro and Lehon finally arrived at their tent. Kuro, who was exhausted, said that he wants to lie down. Before they could step into the tent, Lehon asked Kuro to stop moving. He looked at a rock and told Kuro that someone came to their tent. Lehon realized that someone broke into their tent because the stone he kept as an indicator was on the ground. Lehon was convinced that someone broke into their tent thanks to the footprints he saw on the floor. Lehon told Kuro that if the person who broke into their tent is in a group, then they could be attacked later in the day. He asked Kuro to grab the parachute tarp so that they can move out. Kuro was sad to hear this, but he understood Lehon's reasoning. Lehon and Kuro walked further into the forest to separate themselves from their camp. At sunset, Lehon realized that they have to find somewhere safe to stay before it is completely dark. He asked Kuro if he has any visions. Kuro's eyes began to slowly close as Lehon was talking to him. Lehon was surprised to see that Kuro was not responding to him. When he turned back, he noticed that Kuro was in a trance. He called out Kuro's name. While he was calling Kuro's name, Kuro's ability got activated. In his vision, he saw a black panther approaching them. The panther attacked Lehon and tore him apart. Immediately his vision ended. Kuro pushed Lehon away from him. Immediately he pushed Lehon. The panther jumped out of the bush, but it was not able to directly land on Lehon. Of course, this did not mean that the panther gave up. It slowly moved closer to Lehon. Lehon noticed that his weapon was separated from him after Kuro pushed him away. As the panther was about to eat Lehon, it got attacked by something. The panther immediately ran away out of fear. When Lehon turned to see who attacked the panther, he was surprised to see that it was Jose. Jose, whose quirk turns out to be fire, asked Lehon if he is okay. When he saw that the panther had ran away, he deactivated his ability. Lehon noticed that Jose had a cloth wrapped around his leg. He asked Jose about what happened to him. Jose told Lehon that he fell into a trap. He told Lehon that he can barely stand properly. He sat on the ground and told them that he is happy that he was able to meet them. Kuro reminded Lehon that they also saw a trap earlier today. Lehon realized that Jose came across a trap set by the same people who set a trap for them. Jose was surprised to hear this. He could not believe that there is a group stealing from others on the island. He told them that he is not worried because he does not have any rations at all. Lehon and Kuro were shocked to hear this. Lehon asked him about why he did not have rations. Jose told Lehon that he ate all his rations immediately his leg broke. Lehon was surprised to hear this. He wondered if Jose was always so stupid. Lehon told him that they need to find a shelter before it is too late. The scene shifts and we see Carl gazing at the stars. He remembered his talk with his father. His father told him that they have discovered psychic energy in his body thanks to the sensors at the airport. Carl was surprised to hear this. Carl's father told him to make use of the opportunity. He told Carl to enroll in ARC. Carl was surprised to hear this. Carl, who was a child actor, told his father that he is in the middle of filming a movie, with a horrifying look on his face. Carl's father grabbed Carl and told him that he will be able to obtain incomparable wealth and fame if he becomes a Psyker. With a menacing look on his face, he told Carl that when the war is over, Psykers will become soldiers for their nations. He told Carl that he will become a superhuman that rules over everyone. After saying this, Carl was forcefully enrolled in ARC. He was very sad about it. The scene shifts and we see Dimitri working out while Simon was eating. Simon told Dimitri that he has a lot of energy. He reminded Dimitri that their food is almost finished. He asked Dimitri about how he will survive for the remaining 5 days if he continues such workouts. Dimitri told Simon that he is a physical type. He told Simon that he wants to become an elite striker, so he has to train a lot. Simon called him an idiot. He told Dimitri that Psykers need to fight with their psychic energy. Dimitri was surprised to hear Simon's response. He realized that Simon had developed an interest in him. He decided to bait Simon by saying he misses Lehon. He said that Lehon is the only person who can challenge him in armed combat. Simon was shocked to hear this. He activated his psychic energy and asked Dimitri if he has fought with Lehon. Dimitri was happy to see that Simon took the bait. He could not believe that Simon might fight him thanks to Lehon. The scene shifts and we see Lehon, Kuro, and Jose in a cave. The boys put their parachute tarp at the entrance of the cave and turned the cave into their new camp. Lehon told the boys that they will be spending the remaining 5 days in the cave. Lehon told Jose that he and Kuro will get some firewood and food. He asked Jose to guard their shelter while he recovers. Jose apologized to them for making them work alone. With a smile on his face, Lehon told Jose to not worry about it. He told Jose that they have an amazing advantage thanks to his combustion ability. This is because having fire means that they have a way which they can obtain food. The scene shifts and we see Lehon and Kuro by the sea. The boys were looking at some fishes. Kuro asked Lehon if he knows how to fish. With a smile on his face, Lehon thanked Kuro. Kuro was surprised to hear this. He asked Lehon about why he is thanking him. Lehon told Kuro that he saved him yesterday when he was in danger and found them a safe cave for them to live in. Lehon told Kuro that he believed that helping him was the best course of action, but he soon found out that this cannot continue like that forever. He realized that more problems were going to come their way. He told Kuro that after they landed on the island, he became convinced that he is a psychic genius. He told Kuro that he has the strength to defend himself and save people. He told Kuro that they need to depend on each other to survive an arc. He told Kuro that they are going to be together because they are friends. Kuro was extremely happy to hear this. Kuro was a nameless child who lived in an orphanage in Japan. The name Kuro was given to him only because of his dark skin. With tears in his eyes, Kuro's ability got activated. He could not believe that he has a friend who believes and trusts in him. Lehon was surprised to see the level of power Kuro had. He told Kuro to focus his ability on the fish. When Kuro looked into the water, he saw the movement which the fish would make later. He used his telekinesis to draw out the fish from the water. Lehon cheered for him as he continued to draw out more fishes from the water. On the third day of the survival training, Lehon and Kuro had just returned from fishing. Lehon congratulated Kuro on getting 8 fishes. Kuro smiled and told Lehon that he has gotten used to fishing. He told Lehon that Jose will be happy with the amount of fish they caught. Lehon smiled and said that Jose's scaling ability has gotten better since they started fishing. As they got close to the cave, Lehon noticed something odd. He threw his fish away and asked Kuro to wait behind. He immediately ran towards the cave. As he got closer to the cave, he saw that the parachute tarp had been cut into pieces. He wondered about who did such a thing. When he arrived inside the cave, he saw Jose lying on the floor. The scene shifts and we see Dimitri give Simon a wooden sword. Simon was surprised to see that Dimitri had a wooden sword. It did not make sense to him that Dimitri would pack weapons for an airborne training. Dimitri told Simon that he likes to wield 2 swords. Of course, this did not make sense to Simon. Dimitri asked Simon about why he suddenly wanted to spar with him after hearing that Dimitri fought with Lehon. Simon realized that Dimitri was the Class B rep who fought with Lehon. He had heard that Dimitri was going to be promoted to Class A. He wanted to verify if Dimitri was good enough to join Class A. Dimitri was very happy to hear Simon's response. He told Simon that he likes him a lot. Immediately the fight started. Simon and Dimitri charged at each other. When Simon got close to Dimitri, he stopped moving. Thanks to this, Dimitri's timing got messed up. While Dimitri was in the air, Simon used the opportunity to attack Dimitri's stomach. He assumed that the attack would be enough to win Dimitri. Unfortunately for him, Dimitri barely felt the attack. He smiled at Simon and told him that it is not yet over. He attacked Simon, but Simon easily dodged the attack by moving back. Dimitri was happy that Simon moved back. He believed that it would give him an advantage. He quickly rushed to attack Simon. Dimitri used his sword to launch numerous attacks on Simon. Simon was able to block the attacks, but it was slowly overwhelming him. The moment Simon saw a gap in Dimitri's defense, he used the opportunity to move behind Dimitri and launch an attack. Fortunately for Dimitri, he was able to dodge the attack thanks to his quick reflexes. He was very happy to dodge the attack because he knew that he would have been heavily injured if he received such an attack head-on. When he turned around, he had lost his balance. Simon used the opportunity to attack him. Dimitri was still able to dodge the attack. Simon was extremely shocked to see this. He could not believe someone could have such quick reflexes. While he was frozen in shock, Dimitri used his sword to kick Simon's sword away from his hand. After separating Simon from his word, Dimitri regained his balance and rushed to attack Simon. He believed that Simon was done for. Unfortunately for him, Simon used his psychic ability to pick his lost sword and attack Dimitri from behind. He told Dimitri that he would have won if it was a simple armed combat, but it is different for them because they are Psykers. Simon wondered if Lehon was much stronger than Dimitri. The scene shifts and we see Lehon holding Jose while screaming his name. When Jose woke up, he told Lehon to stop yelling. He told Lehon that he is not dead. After the boys had settled down, Lehon asked Jose about who beat him up. Jose told Lehon that he was beaten by Karl Heinz and his 7 gang members. Jose told Lehon that Karl took all their food. He told Lehon that Karl will return back to the cave later. He told Lehon that it will be better for them to leave. With a serious look on his face, Lehon told Jose that they are not going anywhere. He told Jose that he is not kind enough to let people who beat his friends go freely. Jose was happy to hear Lehon call him his friend. Lehon told the boys that it will be good for them to look for another shelter. He told them that he will allow Karl and his gang take over their shelter so that they can ambush them later in the night. At night, we see Lehon and Kuro return back to the cave. They were very happy to see that Karl and his gang had occupied their shelter. Lehon told Kuro that it is time for them to begin their operation. He told Kuro that he cannot beat the gang by himself, but it will be possible for him to fight them with Kuro. Kuro reminded himself that Lehon is the only person who believes in him. He did not want to let Lehon down. He activated his telekinesis and used it to raise some stones up. He used the stones to attack the boys who were guarding the entrance of the cave. The boys who were attacked screamed and told the others that they are being ambushed. Karl ordered the other boys to go outside. The other boys who went outside rushed towards the direction which the rocks were coming from, unfortunately for them. Kuro used his foresight to predict their future movements and aim the rocks at their locations. The boys were not able to dodge the attacks because it was very dark outside. While the boys were confused and scared, Lehon used the opportunity to attack each one of them. By the time Carl came out of the cave, Lehon had knocked out all the boys. Guys, we have come to the end of our video. If you guys want part 5 of this video, let me know in the comments section. Don't forget to like and smash that subscribe button for more recaps. See you guys later.